Thank you, Benson. Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. So I'll be turning 60 next year. That means when I first joined Toastmasters, it was in 1993. That was the age of, all right, doesn't matter. 36 was the age and I joined Toastmasters. Now, time is of essence, so I go straight into this workshop. 20-minute workshop on speech delivery, make impressive. Are you ready?
Yes.
Very good. Now, here we go. So what exactly is speech delivery? Make impressive. Not meaning that I can still in one piece after that 20 minutes or I don't drop dead on this stage and that sort of thing. What we need to do is, first of all, we need to connect with the audience. Get it? Yeah? Makes sense, right? Then make them interested, all right? And make them remember what you say, which is important. At the end of the day, if you can make them feel, this is it. Make them feel. You say, what? Even in a corporate setting, you still have to make them feel? The answer is yes. Make them feel, that means you make them motivated. If you really want them to take action until they have that feeling, until they're motivated. They will then be able to do what you want them to do. Everything makes sense, right? Okay, here we go. First of all, I call it small differences to make big differences. So there's some magic in doing all these things. The very first one I call the magical eye contact. So I go into one after one in detail, all right? I go through the list with you first. The second one is called the magical 3D delivery, and the magical pauses, the magical less is more, and finally, the magic touch. This is how you can make them feel. Right. Do we need to copy it? No. I think I'll leave this file with everybody. No copyright problem. Make sure you copy them right, okay? All right, here you go. Magical eye contact. Now, even in a corporate setting, in doing a presentation, it's just come up and finish your script. This is not presentation. To me, presentations start with connecting with the audience, connecting with colleagues, your bosses, the superior, whoever, right? So the magical eye contact is like this. That you actually connect with the audience with your eyes. This is important. Now, is it really scary looking at people? What do you think? True. Yes and no. When you're looking at those unfriendly eyes, they are quite scary. So there are friendly eyes in the audience. What do I mean by friendly eyes and unfriendly eyes? Friendly eyes are those really, they're really into it, all right? Go for those friendly eyes in the audience because they will give you the encouragement, they will give you the kind of confidence you need, right? So how do you find them? Well, if you're not too sure, plant some seeds in it, all right? Find somebody who will really, your friends are, fans of friends, they're all very important. Now, so go for, say for example, I'm very happy today, well, I came in just now, we shake hands, right? So I believe we are having this friendly eye. So I stay with you 3-4 seconds, and then I will start moving on to another pair of friendly eyes. Now, Jim is my friend. Well, you still are a friend, Jim, right? Okay. So what I do is that I know Jim's over there, so what I do is that then I move my eye to Jim, all right? So then in a kind of random manner, I'm going to cover the entire audience in that sense. I do not really have to do it in a robotic way. I mean, this is not the way to do it. This is rather robotic, right? So what I do is I make use of some sort of ballroom dancing. You know what ballroom dancing? The body and your head can kind of move in a very graceful manner. Now, let me demonstrate. I start with you first. If I'm having Jim over there, so either I move my body first to Jim, I still stay with you, and then I move my head. It's much better than just go like, this is too robotic, right? So you do not just rigidly move like this. You move first, almost detaching your head from the rest of your body, your torso. And you move the body first, head, or the head first, the body. So basically, you're covering everybody, right? That is the way to go. I got a magical eye contact. This is how you connect with the audience. Without connection, audience will not know that you're really talking to them. All right? All right, here you go. Next. I call the magical 3D. What do we mean by that? We do prepare for our presentation, do we? We've written down everything, make sure we memorize it. But even more important, it says here that content is important, but not as important as when you deliver it. The visual part, which is the nonverbal part, which is important. course, the voice as well. Now, how can we do it? Meaning that I don't just stand here and say, good afternoon. I'm very excited here, talking to you. Now, this is not a delivery. Delivery would be very much you jump into it. We jump into what you're going to say, right? I'm very excited here, seeing you all. No, this is not excited, right? Allow your hands to come in to help you to deliver the message. I'm excited, then I'm excited. You say, no. In corporate setting, we don't do that. Yes, the kind of animation, the group animation can be very much related to your style. I'm not a very animated person, doesn't matter. But still, somehow, I had a wonderful dinner last night, right? I had a big fish. The hand will come up to help you deliver a speech. So the hand will do part of the work for you. So allow your hand to go freely. The simple thing would be that you just forget your hand. The hand will be there. Forget your hand. The hand will come up to do it for you. If you're really holding it like this, hey, stop it, then the hands wouldn't look so natural, right? In one simple word, I call jump into it. Jump into it means when you're really delivering a speech, I do have something I really want to share with you. My whole gesture will go with it. Jump into it. Well, it doesn't look too excited. What about, would that one be better? All right, okay. But then there's one thing that we have to remember that even in a corporate setting, there are two things I think we need to kind of pay attention. It's where you stand. I might be blocking your view, so I need to pay attention. Where I'm standing will not be blocking the view of everybody, right? But then there are times when you may like to move a little bit. That kind of defining the space can help you to differentiate between what you're talking about. I might be talking about when I was a secondary school student. This is my timeline. And then I may say, now when I was in university, then I move across the hair. So the space can help you to define, amplify your message as well. In corporate setting, I might come forward a little bit and say, well, I have something very important for you. And then after that important point, I go back. And the next time I have another important point, I move forward again. Now, I program you to my movement as well. So the third time I come forward, everybody will hear something important for me. Right? So this is how you can make use of the little kind of space in front of you, even in a corporate setting. Right. Oh, one more thing. Fingers, important. Now in Toastmasters, we always are very mindful of how we use our fingers. I call it finger management. It's quite easy that we may say, oh, this is, and then start finger pointing at the audience. And I must say, normally, not in any of the culture, nobody likes to be finger pointed, right? Particularly when we're getting excited, we're not quite sure which finger we're using, right? So that finger pointing is very dangerous. So the easiest thing to avoid any unnecessary kind of mistakes, use all 5 fingers all the time. That would be very safe, right? Okay? Getting it, right? Good, wonderful. Let's move on. I call them magical pauses. Now, in delivery, somehow the 3D presentation will involve pauses. It means that when you say it, there are times when you really like to take a pause. Take it like that. So the reason for that is, first, I want to draw attention. Say, for example, today I'm very happy to be here because over the past 23 years in Toastmasters, I have something that I really want to share with you. And then I pause. Then I pause and draw attention. Right? Okay? So this is very useful. So that really defines the 3D thing. Right? Of course, great suspense. What do you think I have for you today? Then I leave it there. For 1 second, cannot be too long, right? But enough to create suspension. That would be good. That would be good. Let them sink in. Sometimes if I go too fast, that might be too difficult for you, right? So let them sink in. Let them have a bit of time, particularly when you're covering a very important point that you may like to do that. Then, of course, we have our counter just now. We are very much used to, while we're thinking, we say, oh, this is how we do it. All right? Somehow. That happened when we were much younger. Having a bad school report, mom asking, what's going on? And then you probably have nothing to say, right? But silence didn't save you. That silence would be very kind of intimidating. Tell me, what is it? And then you were trying to say something to avoid or delay the inevitable. So somehow that's how it came. So when we are in a corporate setting, I suppose, you really want people to listen to you. The best way would be to swallow all the R's. All right. But before that, of course, we can use pauses to create humor as well. You say, what? What do you mean by create humor? Now, humor doesn't really come effectively without the pauses. The pauses is how you make the twist, the turning point. Can I give you one example? All right, okay. Indians, we used to be with this Toastmasters in Malaysia and Singapore. Indians are they are really gifted in terms of being very humorous. And one Indian guy, he came on stage and said, you know what? We Indian women, when they speak, they don't need to stop. They just keep on repeating like that. They don't need to stop. You know why? And then he paused. We're scratching our head. We don't have no idea what that means, right? And then, because the Indian women, our Indian women, they have their full stop and comma on their face. So that long pause is really what helps to create a suspense. So pauses, very important. So how am I doing with the time, by the way? How much time do I have?
You have 9 minutes.
Oh, lovely. Okay. Then I call the magical less is more. What do you mean by magical less is more? Shall we do an exercise together? I'm going to give you a string, a number. And after 3 seconds, I'm going to turn it off, and then you're going to tell me what that number is. No cheating. You do not try to write down the number. Just look at it, memorize it, and tell me what it is, right? The first one. 1, 2, 3. What is it? Oh, I like that. Yeah, you're paying attention, yeah. Okay, since you're good, shall we do this one? 1, 2, 3. Wow, amazing, impressive, impressive. All right, since you're doing so good, shall we do this one? 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow. Okay, all right, good. So obviously you still really want to go on, right? Would you like to try this one? You say, oh no. Because in fact, when we come to the second one, I already noticed some of you like that. So I'm turn off, right? So what does that mean? Our kind of memory or our attention could be shut down when you come to too long and winding thing, right? So think about, put it into when you speak. Your colleagues are sitting here, and they're listening to you. If you can make your presentation like the first one, oops, not working, like the first one, right? Then they will have this incentive to remember what you say. This is how you say it. I'm sorry. Psychologically, I'm turned off already. Okay, so think about it. So in Toastmasters, we learn how, first of all, how to kind of separate what we say into 6 or 7 words. And then we make pause. And then we continue like this. This is how you make people remember. Or more importantly, we could say, make it really simple. Make it simple. And the very useful example we see around is what we call the soundbite. You know what soundbite means? These are the soundbites. This is a soundbite. I'm loving it. It's a good soundbite, right? I'm loving it. Or the Franco House. I've seen many ladies there. Franco House. What's the slogan for Franco House? Less is more. Yeah, less is more. So if in our presentation we come up with design, we map out a very, very punchy kind of soundbite for it. And the audience, your colleague, will leave the office and remember what you say. Just a soundbite. So this is how we learn in Toastmasters. Good? All right, good. Let's quickly move on. Now, the magical touch, I love that. I really like to share this with you because there's 3, I call it free energy. Now, in any speech, even in a corporate setting, the first one, the fierceness, is kind of energy in us. Fierceness means that I have message in what I'm going to say. I'm not doing empty talks. I have a clear message for you. So the message could be translated into a simple soundbite, right? Good, all right? But you must have a message for them. You must have a message for them. So that energy is almost like coming from us. Inside us, there are three energies here. The first one, they call the fierceness, is coming, most of us, from our Father, with direction, with discipline, okay? So men at work, when you have a clear direction where to go, you will be able to impact people. You're going to make people like you. All right, okay? So in a speech, empty talks, nobody likes it. This is very important, message. Have a message in what you say. Tenderness is show them that I care. I care to share. I really want to share this with you. So this is very much like coming from a mother. Mother have this loving care, right? Okay. So a good father has a little bit of mother, meaning that a father has all this discipline, direction, and at the same time, if he really shows he cares, this is really powerful. And think about that. In speech, when you can really show your sincerity, your frankness in your speech, people will like it. Finally, I call it playfulness. This is humor, the creativity. We are all this little child inside each and every one of us, right? Allow that little child to come out. A little bit of humor, spicy, just speech up very, very nicely. Again, even in corporate setting, that would be really impactful. So the three energy I call it here. I do have a video that I'd like to show you before I end the presentation. And so this is a funeral speech. And in fact, when I first learned about this three energy, I asked my master teacher, I said, you're telling me that in any speech you have this fierceness, tenderness, and playfulness. Are we having playfulness in a funeral speech? And he said, yes, why not? Because in a funeral, you don't really want to make people feel sad. So the playfulness done in a kind of right proportion, people will like it. So here it goes. There is such a wonderful video, 3 minutes. And it shows how this playfulness, this tenderness, and fierceness in it. Shall we?
I'm not going to sing praises for my late husband. Not today. Neither am I going to talk about how good he was. Enough people have done that here. Instead, I want to talk about some things that will make some of you feel a bit uncomfortable. First off, I want to talk about what happened in bed. Ever had difficulty starting your car engine in the morning? Well, that's exactly what David's snoring sounded like. But wait, snoring wasn't everything. There was also this rear-end wind action going on as well. Some nights, it would be so forceful, it would wake him up. What was that? He would ask. Oh, it's the dog, I would say. Go back to sleep, dear. Or you might find this all very funny, but towards the end of his life, when his illness was at its worst, these sounds indicated to me that my David was still alive. And what I wouldn't give, just to hear those sounds again before I sleep. In the end, it's these small things that you remember, the little imperfections that make them perfect for you. So to my beautiful children, I hope one day you too find yourselves life partners who are as beautifully imperfect as your father was to me.
Right, that's enough. I think I don't really want to bring your mood down right there, but it's important to see how such a powerful 3 minutes, right? The fierceness, the message is very clear in this soundbite. that a perfect relationship would be that if you can accept your partner's imperfection. Wonderful soundbite. And of course, you can feel the sincerity in her speech. And finally, the playfulness. All three blend together, right? So think about it. Toastmaster offers us all this. That this is how we learn. First, the magical eye contact. The only way to make sure you can really handle it well would be that more practice. And the Toastmaster community provide these resources where Jim, everybody here coming in to help, supporting each and every one. All right, the magical eye contact, the magical 3D delivery, and the magical less is more, and the magical touch. And all I'm asking you would be at the end you can see that, if I may, quickly, in closing, all right, ego, or your, right, so the magical last message for you would be that just do it, Toastmasters. Thank you.